What's up, guys? It's ZG, and we are back with another episode of the Easy Flawless series, where we go in depth with the subclasses in the game to help better perk your guardians out for Trials of Osiris. Now, we are back with the Nightstalker Hunter here, probably the most requested subclass we do yet for the series. But as always with these videos, if we can get at least 120 likes, we will continue to do them. We still have a couple left to do, so drop a like on this video and let's get right into it. So starting off the back here, you want to focus on discipline and strength. The main reason why is because wombo combo. It's pretty simple. It's not to say that the intellect or the shadow shot for the Nightstalker isn't very key to the subclass, because it is, but you really do want to focus on your grenades and your smoke ability. So discipline and strength is going to be what you want there. Moving into the subclass here, starting off with the grenade, we have spike grenade, void wall grenade, and vortex grenade. We run void wall grenade. Now, personally, I believe that with the Nightstalker, it's basically preference. I see a lot of people using spike grenades. I also see a lot of people using vortex grenade. Me personally, I like void wall grenade. Main reason being, it's one of those grenades that not a lot of people expect, and it's very, very, very powerful and does a lot of ticks of damage, and I really just enjoy it. It goes well with the smoke. I find it very different in radius compared to the smoke. The smoke is a more circular cloud of smoke, whereas this is a horizontal line of void grenades. So it's very, very powerful. That's my pick. Like I said, one of my best buds that I play trials with all the time, he uses spike grenades, and it can be very, very deadly. So really that's preference, but for me, I like running the void wall grenade. Next, for the jump, we have higher jump, better control, and triple jump. Now, what I notice is that most people, obviously, that aren't running bleak with their hunters, they tend to just choose really whatever they like. Me personally, I like triple jump. I find it to be one of the better ways to juke your opponent, get a lot of height over your opponent, and just move a lot quicker and a lot more precise with the hunter. I know a lot of people like using better control and then bones, which is fine as well, but for me, I just like that double tap feel and routine of triple jump. So that's my pick as far as the jump, and that's really not going to change for my hunter. Typically, no matter what, I'm running triple jump. Next, we have our shadow shot. We have bloodbound. Tethered enemies explode when killed. Damage to tethered enemies is shared to all. Black hole. The void anchor has increased range, lasts significantly longer, and can tether more targets. And quiver. Fire shadow shot up to 3 times. Void anchors have reduced range. Now, basically across the board, PvE, PvP, Trials, Iron Banner, no matter what, I'm running black hole. It really is the only option, guys. I see some people running quiver, and my only response to that is, if you are looking for a deadly 3-kill super, or the type of super where it's a slayer super and you're getting kills with it, I would say run the golden gun. I mean, it's really the obvious solution. I don't think quiver has much of any effect in Trials of Osiris. Maybe early on in the card when you're playing against people that aren't so good, but late in the card, I know for me, if I come across a team with a Nightstalker and he's using quiver and I notice that right off the bat, I just kind of run from him, and it's not ever really a problem. Black hole, on the other hand, you have so much room for mistake. You can whiff it and still do so much damage with it, grab people from so far, and it lasts so long, and it's very difficult to get rid of. It's very tedious, and in my opinion, especially with all the verticality that's in the game and stuff like that, black hole on a Nightstalker really is the only option. So if you're struggling with your Nightstalker, maybe you're using quiver, maybe you think you've got some sort of build with bloodbound or something like that, I promise you, if you change it to black hole, you will feel so much better. You'll just do so much better. So if you're not running black hole, in my opinion, you're making a mistake. So next up, we have our smoke. We have envenomed. Adds a toxin that damages enemies within smoke. Vanish in smoke. You and your allies near smoke explosions vanish from sight. And snare allows smoke to stick to surfaces, detonating when enemies are near. Now, obviously for wombo combo, the only pick here is envenomed, which basically not only traps them in the smoke, but it causes damage to them in the smoke on top of your grenade. I see a lot of people that come from raids or strikes or basically PvE content, and they're using Vanish and Smoke, and they kind of just forget to switch to Envenomed. You guys need to make sure that that you are running Envenomed, especially in endgame PvP. It really is the only option here. And really, Vanish and Smoke can be okay if you've got some sort of stealth build going on or something like that. But for me and basically any other top tier player or really talented Trials player, they're going to be using Envenomed. So make sure you're running Envenomed along with your Void Wall Grenade if that's your preference. Here, guys, as always, we're running max armor. So for the Nightstalker, we have Path Unknown and Way of the Fearless. Again, I say it in all these videos, this can and will be the difference between a 4-4 loss and a 4-4 win. It will only improve your game. So if you're not running max armor, you need to be running max armor in Trials especially. In PvE content, if you're using some sort of agility build or something like that, that can be okay. But in Trials of Osiris, max armor truly is the way to go. In this middle tree here, we have Courage of the Pack. Killing tethered targets greatly increases recovery and armor for you and nearby allies, stacks up to 3 times. Light of the Pack. Killing tethered targets creates orbs of light for you and your allies. And Lockdown, grenade and smoke effects last twice as long, allowing strong territory control. Now, in every other activity, I would recommend Light of the Pack, even to a degree Iron Banner, but in Trials of Osiris, you really want Lockdown to double the amount of time that smoke and grenades last. It is very, very strong. It can surprise some people. Again, a lot of people run this class in PvE content, and I find that they forget to switch both Light of the Pack and Vanish and Smoke. You guys need to make sure that you're running both Lockdown and Envenomed. Even if you're coming from strikes, even if you're coming from raids, make sure you make that switch, because it can and will save your life, and it can and will generate you more kills and just make you a better threat on the field in Trials. So for me, guys, you gotta run Lockdown. It really is the only option. And finally, in this last tree, we have Keen Scout, sprint and sneak faster, gain enhanced tracker and the ability to mark targets you damage. Predator decreases shadow shot cooldown. Void anchors fired from shadow shot become traps that stick to surfaces and wait for prey. And finally, Shade Step, which is press BB to evade. Now, if I wasn't running the Graviton Forfeit, I would be running Shade Step, but because I get Shade Step for free with the exotic helmet, we're running Keen Scout. And basically, what you're really looking for here is the marking your targets after you damage them and have that enhanced tracker. So basically, you get a little bit of a better radar, and you are marking your targets. You can see them through walls. You can see them as you damage them. It's a very, very handy tool for a Nightstalker, especially if you're a sniper. And but otherwise, guys, you want to make sure if you're running a Nightstalker that you have some form of Shade Step, whether you have the node filled in or you are using Graviton Forfeit. A Nightstalker without Shade Step is just not a good idea. Just the amount of movement, the amount of escapism, just every way that you are able to get around with the Nightstalker really is dependent on Shade Steps. You need to make sure that no matter how you get it, you are running Shade Step in some form. But again, because we're running the exotic helmet that gives us that perk for free, we are running Keen Scout. Now, Predator, I feel like puts way too much emphasis on your shadow shot, on your super, which again, we are focused much more heavily into our grenades and our smoke. This can be okay, especially if you're trying to surprise some people. And remember, guys, these videos really help for the end of the card, or you know, where a lot of you guys are getting stuck with, where all you need is just that 1% difference in a perk loadout or something like that, that can get you that W. But early in the card, if you're trying different things and you have different builds, that's when you want to be doing those things. But I would say 6 and beyond, where a lot of you guys are getting stuck and a lot of you guys are getting knocked out, you need to make sure that you have these things in mind. And that's really how that's really the reason why I started making these videos in the first place. But that's really going to be it for the Nightstalker, guys. As far as the perk sets go, just going over it one more time, we had Void Wall Grenade, Triple Jump, Black Hole, Envenomed, Max Armor, Lockdown, and Keen Scout, if not Shade Step. So really, that's not going to change. And one thing about this particular subclass is, especially late in the card, top tier players, you know, getting ready to go to Lighthouse, stuff like that, this is basically what they're gonna run. I mean, some people, like I said, will have a preference in Grenade, but other than that, this is the Trials of Osiris Nightstalker build. If you guys are using anything else to success, and having a a great time with it, let us know in the comment section down below. But really guys, if you are facing a Nightstalker 6 wins and beyond, this is most likely what they're going to be running. So make sure as a Nightstalker you keep this build in mind, especially if you want to get flawless in Trials of Osiris. But moving on, we're going to talk exotics real quick. Right off the bat, Graviton Forfeit. This is my go-to exotic for my Nightstalker Hunter. Again, gives us Shade Step for free, allowing us to play with that last perk tree just a little bit, and it's just overall a great helmet. I've got intellect and strength on it. Wish I could have had intellect and wish I could have had discipline and strength with it, but overall this is basically the #1 exotic that I'm going to be using in Trials of Osiris with my Nightstalker. The only other thing that I use personally with my Nightstalker is the Sealed Amkara Grasp. Gain an additional melee charge and melee damage may reload primary weapon. Really what we want here is that additional melee charge, that additional smoke. Again, focusing on our wombo. It's just a very good one that I don't think a lot of people use right now. A lot more people are on this Graviton Forfeit and obviously fast res and stuff like that. But as far as the exotics go, those are going to be my 2 picks for the Nightstalker. Now as far as loadouts go, I like to run a hand cannon almost exclusively with my Nightstalker. I feel like they just pair very well with smoke and locking down enemies, getting those quick 2-tap kills on top of already doing some damage. Again, they do very well as well with your shadow shot when enemies are tethered. So I like running hand cannons with my Nightstalker, and typically you guys will see a shotgun, especially in this meta, but with my Nightstalker, especially when I'm running Keen Scout, sniper has got to be the way to go. You guys see I got my hidden hand longbow here, my trusted baby right here, and this is really what you guys want to be running with a Nightstalker, a sniper hand cannon combo. You know, being able to get those smokes off, lock down your opponent, hit them quick with a sniper, finish them with the hand cannons. Very, very powerful loadout. So that's basically gonna be it, guys. Again, we just got the Graviton Forfeit, the Sealed Grasps, a hand cannon in the first slot, a sniper in the second slot. Now the last thing I wanted to say about the Nightstalker subclass that I see a lot of people, even top tier players, go through is they get stuck in the gameplay loop of the Nightstalker, where they're basically not able to use any other class to to success. I see a lot of people that just, they're really good Nightstalkers, but you put them on other subclasses and they really have a tough time. And I think the big reason for that is because the Nightstalker has, a lot of different movement with Shade Step. You get used to the smoke and the grenade combo and stuff like that, and even Shadow Shot, just being able to shut down basically any super that you want. You get kind of stuck in that loop, and you want to just make sure that you're playing on your other subclasses, you're staying sharp on other classes, because it can be really easy to get tied to this subclass and have it be your crutch. I also see a lot of Titans go through that sometimes with Twilight Garrison, where they just get so used to having it, and it just becomes a natural extension of their character, where that's all that they can use. And even though this is a great subclass, and the Twilight Garrison is a great exotic, you want to make sure that you're staying sharp on all of your subclasses and you have playtime across the board, because if you get too locked in on one character, it really can affect the rest of your character's game. So if you guys are ever asking yourself, why am I so good on my Nightstalker and I'm not as good on my Sunsinger, it's probably because you're so hooked into that gameplay of the Nightstalker, which is a great thing. So don't get me wrong, I think that that's an excellent thing, and I want everybody to master every class. I just don't want you to get lost in that gameplay loop. But that's enough of my rant. That's enough of me going on and on. I really hope you guys did enjoy the video and you learned a little something new. If you did, make sure you hit this video with a thumbs up. Again, 120 likes when we do the next one. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I really do. Thank you so much for all your support recently, guys, and just being here for your boy. The dawning's coming soon, so I'll see you then, and I'm out. Deuces.